slaughtered by the Israeli army. That's why you haven't looked into it. Press that other button. Press that button. Press that button. That button.
Are you saying 4,000 deaths?
Huh? Am I saying what?
40,000 deaths?
40,000. 40,000 is probably the lowest estimate. And the other button. You're pressing that button. That's right. That button. That's it. That button.
That is true. It's very, it's awful what happened to the Palestinians.
Thank you.
It's not awful, it's a genocide. It's a genocide. It's terrible. And it's terrible that Hamas people choose to put the Palestinian people in front of them as human shields.
Oh my God. Take another step backwards. Take another step backwards. Take another step backwards.
These people are so stupid.
We don't have Hamas people. Why are they hitting everywhere? Civilians, you're right. Where's Hamas? You're completely right. Okay. Terrible that Hezbollah is
The same story, same thing.
Ask yourself this, the next question back. The next question back. These people are in a de facto concentration camp.
And oh my God. In front of them as shields. I know it's chance that
I have one question.
chose to put his head into the bunker.
What we do believe. That's a feeble excuse.
Yeah, well, that's what they said about everything. Every hospital they bombed, oh, there's a command centre. Every school they bombed, there's a command centre. Every... Sorry? Just one second, just one second. Each occasion, on each occasion...
It's very sad that Hamas chose to shoot them.
Okay, you are making fun of
under the hospital. That gives them the right to actually have a hospital.
I was just over there.
That's not terrible, that's a genocide.
Donald Trump is a very nice man. I think he wants to fight Palestine and everything. Because they are fake news. They are not right.
Right now, Israel is under this part. I have no right to kill these innocent people. It's terrible if. It's not unexplained. It's not justified. And maybe in front of...
The gentleman here asked me, what would Donald Trump do? The unfortunate thing is, Israel and its lobby, the Zionist lobby, have got a lot of influence around the world. They've got a lot of influence in America, a lot of influence amongst the Democrats, a lot of influence amongst the Republicans. See you later. A lot of influence amongst the Republicans. And they make policy, foreign policy in America. While Donald Trump will probably try to make a deal with Russia, he will shift the emphasis to support Israel. Because he knows the American population, they're prepared to fight and support the battle against the Arab people. Because they think they largely think they're sort of lesser human beings. They're not part of our culture. And therefore this anti-Islam psychology can be backed up by a pro-religious right policy. Which is the same with the Tommy Robbins, Tommy brigade, they say the same thing. So they are trying to turn the conflict with Israel, or the conflict in Israel, into a global cultural conflict against Islam. Which of course suits some people, suits some lunatics in Islam as well. But mainly it's on behalf of Israel, who control large swathes of the political decision-making in the Western world in relation to international policy. Okay, I've been speaking a while. Thanks very much. See you later. Oh, you're right. Away you go. Put up your back.
All right. Fantastic. Well.
Piers Corbin, everybody!
Yes. Resist.
Defy!
Do not comply.
Resist! Defy!
Do not comply.
You've got a license to have chickens.
Okay, people. Well, thank you very much for being here. And thank you, Heiko, as always, for a magnificent presentation. And I've got to give my mobile here to Alan, here we are, camera. So you know how to work it from here, don't you? Tell me when you're starting and we'll restart when I get my notebook. Is it ready? Okay. Is it working? Okay. So we start again. Resist!
Defy!
Do not comply! And you see this man here? I turned up in Birmingham at the Tory conference and he grabs me on the platform. It says Piers from Air, out of the blue, because he works on the train. What? Palestine flag? Yeah, well, of course we have the Palestine flag. Okay, what I'm talking about today is, first of all, about our progress on building Gaza as the front line, Palestine and freedom fighters unite in common cause. Progress on that. Secondly, Storm Helene and all the ultra conspiracism around that. And thirdly, talk about the conference on October the 19th, to which you should all be coming. Hands up those who are definitely coming to that conference. I see nobody. Oh well, I know Linda's coming, you coming. What? October the 19th. Where? Israel. The Angel Church Hall. Okay, one over there is coming, I know. Okay, anyway, so let's move on. It's going to be very good. Right, progress on our Palestine and freedom fighters unite in common cause. We've got up those posters, loads of leaflets. Here's one here, hold one up. These were very popular yesterday on the Palestine March. It's really important, people, to get this across, because that is the biggest movement around now, and the powers that be are trying to control that movement to stop people understanding the big picture. And in fact, we give out these, people take them, and I'll get cheered when I talk about it, and then someone in charge of these demos comes along and says, "Oh, Piers, we're not anti-vaxxers. Don't say that here." And one of them came up to me at Swiss Cottage yesterday and said, "Oh, Piers, I know your nephew, therefore don't give these out." Now that makes no sense. Who cares if she knows my nephew or not? I mean, it's just nonsense, right? But be clear, everywhere in the Palestine movement, there's people in charge of groups who are there, they're wokists, some of them, but they're there to stop you getting the bigger picture, namely uniting against the workers, the WEF and the World Health Organization, because they are behind the genocide in Gaza and the bigger genocide upon us now, namely 17 million people have been killed worldwide by the vax. That truth is not out at all. Anyway, we're making good progress, and I ask people, give some money for leaflets and take leaflets, give them anywhere, especially on movement events. Second thing, Storm Helene. Now, I pointed out last week that it was formed, the hurricane was formed on the 25th of September by a earth-facing coronal hole near the North Pole of the Sun. And that is what drives the formation of every major storm, and every major earthquake are driven by earth-facing coronal holes. And look at the data, you can prove it. However, there's loads of people around now, a sudden upsurge of people saying, "Oh, this was caused by NASA, caused by this or that, and then the storm has been steered." It is utter, complete bollocks and nonsense and lies. Why are they doing it now? I don't know. Well, I do know one thing. They want to propagate the idea of new extreme weather events and that these are human caused by CO2, but they also want you to believe they are omnipotent. They control everything, even the weather. Now, it's not true, and this is an issue we'll talk about at the conference on October the 19th. And I'll mention one particular thing on the internet. This was on my side, actually. Somebody put up a picture of massive floods in Lewisham in 1968, with buses driving through water, or trying to drive through water, up to the, well, halfway up in the engine. Maybe they were stuck buses. Huge floods in Lewisham, 1968. Now, when was that? That was 56 years ago. Now, we have a proven cycle. Come to weatheraction.com, you can find out about this, of 58 years, give or take 3 or 4 or 5 years of coincidence of extreme events. That is the Pacific Decadal Oscillation, it's called, when the Pacific Oscillation changes in that period of time. 58 years, give or take. That, of course, was a big flood then. That's why there's big floods now. And the big floods now are also being enhanced by moving towards a grand solar minimum 2030, 2035. That is not a surprise, it is natural. But there are plenty of people selling conspiracy on the internet to get hits. And we say, stop it. We need real science. And we will build for real science when we get to our conference on Saturday, October the 19th, Angel Church, Islington. To get the details, we've got various websites on this leaflet, but if you don't have that, go to my Twitter feed at Piers_Corbis, and that's linked to many things. Now, the agenda of the conference. Linda, you want to know the agenda of the conference, people? First thing is, starting 10 a.m. to register, 10:30 we should start thereabouts. Then there'll be an introduction of speakers and so forth, and then a short session to clear up paranoia in the movement. Is this person a shill? Is that a Freemason? Stuff like that, which, you know, I don't want to waste a lot of time on it, but it could be useful to clarify some things to confuse people. And that'll be question and answers as well. Then we'll have the first session on how to win. We're building the united front of Palestine and freedom fighters and discussing the control going on in that, which I mentioned already. And then we will end that, including that, a list of all the upcoming court cases. There's a lot of them coming up, and they're Palestine protesters, but they've got two-tier policing, just like in the freedom movement. The two-tier policing is Israelis getting arrested, not many charges. Palestinians get arrested for speaking the truth, and they're charged with terrorism. It is insane. We've got to go to those court cases. Just like in the freedom movement, us and BLM were treated entirely differently. Okay, so that'll be the first session on building the way forward. Then we'll have a session on Vaxxed and Vax-Free Unite, which is very important because we're going to talk about the true scale of the world genocide happening now. At least 17 million, likely 35 million people have been killed by the vax. A big no mention everywhere among politicians. I mean, that's 150,000 people in Britain, extra deaths in a year. Instead, they talk about 30,000 so-called refugees coming in. Well, okay, that's an issue, of course, but why does no one talk about the big issue? We need more leaflets about that. And we need to help people who've been jabbed. Nicotine, for example, is an answer. We've got to have a bit of a session on beating the vax illnesses through nicotine or whatever. A health issue. Okay? Next item, we'll have one about number 6 here on this list, breaking ultra-conspiracism, which I mentioned before, but we would set up a new science committee, a kind of movement, a united movement science committee of qualified people, observed by others, yes, but they would meet in public and discuss all these conspiracies that come up and claims, you know, or, well, big ones, and have a proper discussion and rule on them. Is it nonsense? Is it true? Is it false? I mean, it could be really useful because the mainstream will never rule on the truth. We know that so-called peer review process is actually corrupt, and things they don't like won't get published. I mean, you know, standing here, I said on May the 16th, 2020, Bill Gates wants to vax the world and it's going to be dangerous. I was told I'm a mad conspiracy theorist. We now know it's true, but we're not mentioned anywhere. Why doesn't Nature magazine invite me to write about it? Why doesn't the New Scientist invite me? Why doesn't the BBC? They don't want the truth. So we do have to have an alternative way of getting proper scientific evidence-based truth. So that will also be set up at the conference, a science committee. And next one, that guy over there, talking about the massive internet shutdown being muted and the data enslavement which will flow from that. So I'm going to have an important session at the conference on that. That guy will speak and others will speak. And lastly, we'll talk about the political circus and how to beat it. because we're all enslaved by this historic fake choices between, well, as Angela's banner says, the red Star of David and the blue Star of David. Tory or Labour or Democrat or Republican, all of them are controlled by the same dark forces. And we have to break people out of that to stand up and fight for truth. And in the end, we know the only answer is action from the ground. So any attempt of lockdown, what do? Take to the streets.
Take to the streets.
Take to the streets. Take to the streets. And to end, what we know we've got to do, everyone has to do in the world movement is resist, defy, do not comply. Thank you.
What do you think of FEMA's response to Hurricane Helene?
Say it again.
FEMA is the Federal
Yes.
Emergencies
Yes.
Management Agency, and they appear not to be wanting to help the people in the
No,
upland.
interesting. Well, some conspiracy, conspiracists saying that's because it was caused by them. No, look, there's going to be extreme storms all the time. But it's very interesting, FEMA is doing nothing and leaving people to rot. I think
why is that?
it's part of their deliberate policy to weaken the American economy wherever it's possible. So when this natural damage occurs, just leave it. I think it is. It's well, we know that's what they want. That's what they want.
Who do you want to win the American election?
I don't care. I'm against both of them. They're both controlled by zombies. Well, who would I vote for if they're? Neither of them. There's one independent guy that says the same sort of stuff as we do. I'd vote for him. And I'd go to a Trump meeting and tell him where he's lying. I'd go to the other side meeting and tell them where they're lying and tell them we've got to take action on the streets. And about the FEMA stuff, it's really interesting. What can we do about it? I mean, it has to be people on the ground going to help, going there themselves and helping those afflicted people in the flooded
But they won't
areas.
allow them to go up there to do it.
Well-
They won't allow it. You're threatened with arrest if you try to help.
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but we have to do what we can. I mean, there are people in
you
Britain
do
now
everything,
who are
Piers.
taking down Israeli war machine factories, you know, or doing actions to upset them. So maybe things they can do in America, I don't know, but I understand the problem. But the fact that people are not allowed in proves what I said. They want the suffering to continue. And that is utter disgrace. The American dream. A nightmare. So, any more questions? Well, there were loads of questions earlier for Hyde. Well, they weren't. They were just standing round. But
You have a beautiful poster there.
sorry, what?
That one is nice, yeah. That one
like it?
was difficult to read, so it's good you printed this one.
Thank you very much.
Did you get some funding from somewhere?
Well, I want some more now.
Okay.
It cost that cost £17. That
Yeah.
5 of them, 85 quid.
17.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you have one, it costs 29 quid. I mean, it's a lot of money. But it's the same as 32 of these leaflets, which
It's
will
great.
cost you about
It's great,
50p.
it's good, yeah.
So, plastic costs a lot. But anyway, please, take a leaflet, take a bundle of leaflets. Linda, you've got a bundle of leaflets to give the man? All right, I'll be over. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Turn it
you
off
very
now.
much. 12 minutes.
12 minutes. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, thank you very much for listening, people.
Thank you.
And money. Yes. We collect money. And Alan is going to be next.
No problem. You finish your
Donations. I'll,
What are you talking about?
It's real. It's real. Talk about this real. You'll be afraid of the talk about the
Find out and see.
Yeah, how you doing? Good.
Hello. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Piers. Yeah. You finished. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Today I talk about Israel. You know, Israel in the Middle East, they are war against Gaza, war against the Hamas, war against Hezbollah, war against the Houthi. finally the war against Iran that's properly planted. They have the big plan behind. Okay, Israel first they eliminate the Hamas in Gaza, and the second one is war against the Lebanon, the Hezbollah in the Lebanon.
Yes.
And at the same time, they are war against Houthi militias in Yemen. And the third one, and I believe the final destination for the Israel is occupy Jerusalem. That's their final purpose. Final purpose is occupy Jerusalem, totally destroy Palestine countries. Okay, totally destroy Palestine countries and dominate Middle East. They want to defeat the Iran. You know, in Iran, I talk about that. China, Russia, Iran alliance war against conflict with United States NATO alliance. The NATO alliance supports Israel. So, at the beginning of the Ukraine wars, is the Russia would like the quick wars. China, Russia, Iran alliance, they want to quick wars, the quick wins to get the benefit from the wars, like occupied eastern Ukraine. And the Ukraine resistance make the Russia trapped in the lasting wars, the consuming the Russia's energy. So United States and the NATO fund, that is a good ways to consume the China-Russia-Iran alliance. So they make a proper plan to trap the Iran into the Middle East wars. NATO, yeah, the NATO. And the Israel consistently challenging Iran in the Middle East. First one is Hamas, second one is Hezbollah, third one is Houthi. The next one should be occupy Israel, occupy Jerusalem, and fully conflict between the Iran and Israel will happen. That is a NATO, United States lead NATO alliance, the properly plan for the second war theaters in the Middle East. The first war theaters is Ukraine wars. The second one is Israel and Iran fully conflict. The third one is China-United States conflict in the Taiwan Strait. So that's the two military groups conflict each other. China, Russia, Iran axis war against the United States lead the NATO alliance. Right. Yeah, and probably the Taiwan Strait conflict should be the beginning of the World War III. But actually, the two military groups already start the World War III. Yes, like the Second World War. Yeah, the German invade the Austria. German take over the France part of the France. This is already started the Second World War, but the historians they define the Second World War start from 1939. The Poland was partitioned by the Soviet Union and the German. So that's the Second World War start. So since I talk about that. The China and Russia, they are allies, but they don't trust each other. China and Russia, they need each other because China need the energies, need oil and gas, need minerals, need the timbers, need all kind of the natural resources. The Russia have that natural resources, minerals, oil and gas, and all kind of the natural resources. And Russia needs China's support because China is the second largest economy in the world. And China now is the biggest buyer of the Russia's oil and gas. Okay, that's why Russia do not plan 3 years Ukraine wars. They want to use the three months or 6 months to occupy whole Ukraine, but doesn't work. So now Russia needs the financial support. Who gives Russia's financial support? It's China. China continually buy the Russia's oil and gas to give them financial support. And no, that's not my opinion. Yeah, that's Russia can support its lasting wars until today. Maybe next 2 or 3 years. But at the same time, Russia gets another trouble. You know, Russia is totally economically dependent on China. Next one is militarily dependent on China. The third one is strategically dependent on China. Finally, Russia will become the dependent country of China, like Iran. You know, after 40 years, 50 years, international sanctions of the Iran's economy totally dependent on China. Military and manufacture and industry. Okay, excuse me, do not distract me. Okay, I'm making the speech. Yeah. Do not distracting. Okay, and Iran is totally. I don't know what's that. Iran is totally dependent on the China's economy. Okay, and this is very dangerous for the Russia. If Russia trapped on the Ukraine war for over next 3 years, the Russia will become the dependent country of China. Okay, China was consolidate the different resources. Iran, Russia, and North Korea. North Korea is totally dependent on the China. You know, North Korea, they do not have enough energy, it's not to have enough the food.
Atheistic government, bye-bye. You're being replaced. The atheistic government.
Don't waste your time.
Okay.
Right.
Bye-bye. Yeah, okay.
No, I'm alright. I have a Chinese
Okay.
tattoo.
Yes, you know. Okay, bye-bye.
I have Chinese tattoo.
So-
Did you get a British tattoo on your arm? I doubt it. I
Okay,
doubt it.
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So Israel war against Iran. Israel war against Iran. That is they want trap the Iran like the Russia's situation in Ukraine wars. You know, they trap Russia in the Ukraine war, and secondly, they trap Iran in the Middle East war theaters. And then United States consolidates its power, consolidates its resources against the China in the Taiwan Strait. You know, if China failed, the military groups of China, Russia, Iran will totally collapse. Okay. So that's I talk about the two military groups conflict each others. Okay. Any questions? Would you like any questions?
You were saying about Jerusalem. What is that?
Yeah, Jerusalem. I believe Israel,
Yes.
the final purpose is occupied Jerusalem.
But they already
And
occupy
destroy
Jerusalem. But
the part of them,
Yes.
part of the Jerusalem. But they will occupy whole the Jerusalem, and they will defeat Iran.
Yes.
Because Iran is a major opposition in the Middle East against the Israel.
Yes.
The major one. Yeah, Iraq is already defeated. So the Iran is a major one. So Israel, if the NATO groups, like United States NATO groups want to have the overwhelming the dominance in the Middle East, they must defeat Iran. Who supports Iran? China supports Iran. Russia supports Iran. Right? The Syria's government is supported by the Russia. The Syria's already be destroyed. It's already been destroyed. So the next one is Iran, Israel, and Iran have the fully conflict in the Middle East. Trap Iran over there. That's because of that's the beginning. The Iran would like to have the lasting wars, long time wars to war against Israel because Iran do not have too much money. That's war is that consume a lot of the money, consume a lot of the resources. The Iran totally dependent on the China. China would like to support the Iran for long-lasting wars. And the other side, United States allies, they want to trap Russia in the Ukraine war, trap Iran in the Ukraine, Iran in the Israel-Iran wars, and the third one is a trap China in the Taiwan wars. The Taiwan wars.
What's today's
The
subject?
two sides, yeah.
What's today's subject, sir?
Israel and Iran. Israel and Iran.
Who's
so
winning?
the two
Who's
groups
winning?
have the different strategy.
Sir, who's
Yes.
winning?
Who will win?
No, who's winning right now? Israel or Iran?
Yeah, Israel a little bit win now, yeah. So two groups have the different strategy.
I said who's
The
winning?
China, Iran, and Russia strategy, they have the quick win strategy. They want quick win. They want quick wins.
Who's winning?
Yeah, and the Russia and NATO, United States.
I don't give a shit. I listen to this gentleman, he has something to teach. We listen.
I don't know who is he. Yeah, I never met you before. Yeah, what happened? Okay.
Didn't bring much to bring you in. This is when you cheap, this is how we speak. When you cheap, this is how we speak. I'm not going to allow myself to listen to a lot of crap.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Go and find somebody to fuck you. Not very cheap. I don't go with cheap. Your country, I'm a citizen of this country. Fuck off.
Fuck you.
This is shit.
You've been nice all the time. What happened
Have
today?
a wash. Stink.
Okay.
Now you know
Why you
where.
distract me? I'm the atheist. I'm atheist.
We can give you
You
the
give me the
day
guard.
after
Go over there. That's guard areas. You talk with the Islam. Talk with your guard, the Christian. Why you come here and distract the politics? You will talk about politics. The this political discussion.
The train drives to the station.
Well, start doing something right.
So that's Jerusalem. I believe that Jerusalem is Russia, is Israel's final purpose. They want to occupy the Jerusalem and the clean whole Palestine area. Palestine is a big problem over there. Well, I talk about that. It's the beginning. Why? Yes, it's the beginning of the Gaza wars.
Morals for the people.
The beginning of the Gaza wars.
Not just for your integrity.
Sorry, who do you think we are?
I don't care who you are, it's political.
What are you
And I'm
doing?
always
We
over
don't
that
run the
side.
country, we're just listening.
I'm always over that side.
Keep calling us
right?
politics
Yeah, and
people.
he's always standing on there getting what?
It's Speaker's
Have you ever
Corner.
seen it? Well, it's
What's
about
that?
time you listen to me, isn't it?
We don't want
Yeah,
to listen to
we
you.
It's
in
about
this
time
area,
you
we
listen
don't
to
listen
me.
to
We don't
Because
give a
I'm the
shit
son
about
of
Jesus
God.
and everybody
And you
else.
want to go,
I'm
you
not
told you
religious,
Jesus is
bollocks.
coming back.
Do you want us to give you that thing? Do you want to speak?
Mohammed is that.
Do you want to speak?
No, you
I'm
get
just
your
kidding.
priorities right. You listen and
Your
you
heart
make
is on the
choice.
left
I
and your
don't
blood
care
is
about
red.
Muhammad.
Everybody's
I don't
communist.
care
Living
about
God is
Muhammad.
communist.
Get the Quran out of this country. Alright, idiots. Oh,
Okay, the Gaza war. Gaza is a gift to Israel. You know, Gaza is a gift to the Israel. Like
Why are
the
you telling
Israel
us?
to the United States, to
Why are you
lobby the
telling
United
us?
States, reduce
Yeah,
the
all for
Yeah.
money. You greedy,
Who do you think you're
atheistic,
talking
immoral
to?
twat.
Who do you think we are?
Twat.
Is that it? Well then don't bother talking to us. We're wasting your time. We're twats. She's running out of buses.
Okay.
You can't change anything.
That's the
Go find
beginning.
a charger. Go.
At the beginning of the Gaza land is a gift from the China, Iran, and Russia to Israel. Why? because Russia is tired of the Ukraine wars. They want to have the negotiation with the United States, but it's not easy. So they use Israel as a middleman to talk with the United States to negotiate, to mediate the war, the truce and the ceasefire agreement. So I believe the Iran asking Hamas to attack Israel, civilians, and at the same time they give the excuse for the Israel occupy whole Gaza land. You know, if the Hamas do not kill the civilians, they do not hijack, to kidnap the Israel citizens. The Israel do not have any excuse to kill so many people in the Gaza, right? They give them excuse to kill so many people, to destroy whole building on the Gaza land and take the Gaza land. That is a gift from the United States, Russia and Iran to the Israel.
But
Let Israel go to the United States, lobby the United States government.
You say America, Russia asked Hamas to attack Israel.
No, it's Iran. Iran asked Hamas to attack the Israel.
For what reason?
Give them an excuse to destroy whole Gaza and take Gaza land.
So is Iran working with Israel? Is that what you're claiming?
Iran. It's China. China would like to negotiate with a peace agreement with. You don't understand.
No. You're claiming Iran asked Hamas.
Iran asked Hamas that Hamas was supported by Iran.
Yeah. What was the reason? What would be the reason?
The reason is they gave them excuse like the Israel excuse. They take my citizens, so I want to save my citizens from Hamas. So they want to take the Gaza land as a gift.
Why would Iran ask Hamas to attack Israel, but wanting Israel to attack Gaza? Why would
take Gaza away?
But for what reason?
The reason is that Gaza land is a gift to Israel.
From who?
To Israel. Gift from China, Iran, and Russia.
I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's absolute tosh.
No.
I'm sorry,
Let's be
tosh.
finished. So I lose my voice because that is just the ladies distract too much.
Right.
I don't think China
I lower my voice.
Gaza.
I tell you that the Gaza land is.
Who is winning, Israel or Iran?
Stop. I lose my voice already. Yeah.
That'd be a good
The Gaza land is a gift. Yeah. Gaza land is a gift. So how long is it?
So why they giving them a gift? Why it is a gift?
They give the gift to like the Israel as a middleman to talk with the United States government, reduce the financial support and weapon support to the Ukraine.
Okay.
Ukraine,
Yes.
because Russia want to stop the Ukraine war.
Yes.
They want annex eastern Ukraine.
Yes.
They want annex eastern Ukraine.
Yes.
So that's the reason.
They want NATO to stop supporting Ukraine.
Yeah, they want to support the Ukraine and the Ukraine.
Yes.
They want annex Ukraine. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
job.
you very much. Yeah.
Good job. Good point.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, my God. That's okay.